The BMW M3 Competition xDrive, and instead of focusing on how this is the cliche four-door supercar that can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds on a quarter mile in 11, we're going to be talking about how this car costs $96,000 and what you get for your money other than paying BMW a bucket load of cash so they can compensate Dr. Touch. Now, to be fair to the M3 Competition xDrive, this car starts at $80,800, but BMW allows you to customize this car to your heart's content. You can put carbon fiber everywhere, you can put crazy colors, and you can spice up the interior. I find this highlighter yellow with blue interior quite tasteful. This car comes with 2 different seat options. You can get the carbon buckets, like I'm in right now with the landing strip by your center area, or the more regular seats, which can be heated and cooled. Depends on your body type. I find these seats great for the track, but if you have larger hips, you may find these seats a bit tight. The interior space of the M3, this G80 generation, however, is perfect. This car is about the size of a 5 Series from a couple years ago, which means the back seats are really usable, the rear seats fold down, and the trunk is enormous. This car has usable storage for the front occupants and the door cards. You have a lot of glass, good visibility in this thing, and the infotainment hasn't been ruined by Dr. Touch yet. It is the previous generation of iDrive, which means it still has a good mix of physical and touch controls. Past that though, we've already done a really comprehensive video on the M3, so we're gonna head into the shop and put this bad boy on the lift. Mark, we're underneath the M3 Competition with xDrive.
I thought we already did this car.
No, we did the M3 regular sedan with a manual and the M4 Competition. This is the xDrive. They finally put all-wheel drive in an M3. This is the first time ever.
Wow.
I know, it's real impressive. So if you really want to learn a lot about this car with a more in-depth video, watch our original M3, M4 video. This is going to focus primarily on what your 4,000 wing wangs or dollars gets you, because that's how much more the xDrive costs over the regular competition car.
That better be worth it, Jack. Tell me what it does.
Well, it doesn't change anything to the suspension. The suspension is entirely unchanged, so it still is strut front. However, it, in typical M fashion, is a dual link or a dual lower arm front. It is all aluminum front subframe, all aluminum front suspension components. They are adjustable dampers in the front and rear. Here, rear subframe is still steel, but the arms themselves are aluminum. And
the M dampers are also aluminum body. That's a big step.
Yes, they are, and they are 3 or 4 way adjustable, so you can go comfort, sport, and sport plus.
But it does share the same suspension with the M4.
Nothing has changed versus the M3, M4, M4 Comp or M4 Comp or M3 Comp with the xDrive. This car is still brake-by-wire. You can still get this with carbon ceramics, which cost a fortune and work very, very well, or these steel brakes with the M Performance pads. We had this thing out on the track, and it was pretty damn capable.
I guess we're gonna find out, because I don't remember it. I blacked out when I saw this green color. Everybody's like, hey, what color is that? That's so cool. And I'm like, it looks like piss. And then people walk away from me like I'm an asshole.
So really the only mechanical difference is the addition of xDrive, which is what BMW calls their all-wheel drive system. So it's an open diff front all-wheel drive system with a clutch-based rear. It can send up to 100% of the power theoretically to the front of the car or go entirely rear-wheel drive as well. However, this is a rear bias system, so it predominantly favors the rear of the vehicle, and unless you are in some ridiculous situation, it will almost never go 100% rear.
Yeah, they said it's capable of going 100 back, 100 front, but it's a rear-wheel drive architecture that will never send power to the front unless the car deems it's necessary, like in extreme conditions. If you're obliterating the back and you're in all-wheel drive mode, it will send power to the front to neutralize the car. The whole point of this system was to make this car hyper accessible to anyone driving it, because it is incredibly powerful and they need the electronics in the system to bring out all the character of the car, make it super easy for somebody to get in here and just go balls to the walls. And I guess that's what we're gonna find out right now, Jack.
Essentially, they've leveled the playing field with this car, trying to make it more accessible. Look at my marketing degree coming in handy. 2 things very quickly. You can get this to go all rear-wheel drive with their drift mode. I think it feels like it changes the rear diff programming versus the regular rear-wheel drive M3, but I
Is
don't
it
know.
really drift mode? Because according to BMW, it's for those who appreciate a pure driving experience.
It's definitely drift mode, Mark. You can feel the clutches in the rear locking. somewhat unnaturally.
Sounds
versus
like a
regular
bunch of
M3.
bullshit. Sounds like somebody that doesn't know how to drive with precision. Let's get out there. I'm tired of talking about this.
All right, Mark.
I think you're sweating.
Yeah, dude, making me nervous. Making me nervous to make art, Mark.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my holy shit.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah!
I was gonna ask you what $96,000 bought you, and wow, I just drove this thing, and I never say this. This car is unbelievable. This is to me like a supercar. Like there's no joke. It used to be like, oh, it's a budget supercar, but this is every bit as fast as real, dedicated, big boy sports cars. Let me turn off the fake engine noise. Oh, so much better. The speeds that you carry, this thing is like no work to go fast.
This thing's... So, Mark, you drove the M4 Comp with me, the M3 rear-wheel drive with a manual. How does the all-wheel drive change the way this thing drives?
I don't know. This makes it faster.
Well,
yeah, I mean, you have more grip. You're not fighting the rear end as much. I mean, to be fair though,
and you can still get it to go sideways.
Yeah, you can. So this is the ultimate combination of, okay, I want a year-round like supercar sedan. I'm gonna call it that. And you can go in four-wheel drive and drive it in the snow with the right tires. You can put it in kind of rear-wheel drive mode to be a total asshole, and even in four-wheel drive sport, you can still pitch it sideways. I mean, this is the best of all worlds.
Yeah, I mean, so the main difference that I'm noticing, because I spent way more time in the M4 Comp than you did, is that when you get on the gas and you're at the limited grip, the front end just sort of eliminates some of the oversteer.
Yeah.
It moves into a slight understeer state, but then if you continue to give it gas, it'll start to oversteer.
In the tight stuff, there is understeer first, but I'll be honest with you, like, it's because you're carrying so much speed in this car that I think they really had to put some understeer in here, otherwise you'd be dead.
Yeah,
I think it safely makes it easier to drive fast, but I'm only talking about like in the slow sections, otherwise it's completely neutral.
As we talked about in the shop, the suspension tuning is identical essentially to the regular rear-wheel drive cars. The motor and trans are still incredible. Holy shit.
Do you miss the dual clutch in this car?
A little bit from a character perspective, but from like I want to go fast, I want it to be smooth, I don't want to think about anything. Not really, man. I mean, look how fast I'm going without any effort.
I know, it's a zero effort, like, I mean, this is like you want to wow somebody to death, like that's never been in a fast car before. Oh.
Final thoughts on the BMW M3 Competition xDrive, and I wanted to say this first. Huge thanks to our reps at BMW for answering my technical questions, and Autobahn Country Club for allowing us to slide this car around and track it. If you are looking to do a track day in the Midwest or a track day rental, please hit them up. So what about the car itself? Well, I'm going to say this. It is every bit as fast as a supercar from a couple years ago, and on top of that, it's still a 3 Series, which means it's very comfortable, very practical. You have a lot of glass, there's a lot of storage, and you can use this car day in and day out. And with the xDrive, the all-wheel drive, you could probably use this in some pretty gnarly Midwestern winter weather. With snow tires, I'm sure this car will absolutely tear it up. The question I will answer, though, is the $4,000 delta over the regular competition worth it? And I think if you're already spending $96,000, $4,000 isn't that big of a deal, and it does add extra flexibility to the car. The driving experience itself is somewhat artificial, as you are coming to expect in modern BMWs. Even with everything off, you can tell xDrive is saving you, the car is doing a lot for you. But it makes up for that by being extremely fast. Personally though, if it were my money, I would probably buy the base M3 with a manual transmission. While yes, it is nowhere as fast as the automatic competitions, you are saving a lot of money, and the manual gearbox adds something back to the driving experience that is lost by all the digitalization of the vehicle itself and the automatic gearbox. You feel like you're still interacting with the car and it's not doing as much for you. But with that, thanks for watching and I hope to see you soon.